In this video, we will show you how to install your engine cooling fan. Let's get started. You can continue on by removing this top engine cover and then removing the air inlet tube from the area. It'll give you a lot more room. To do that, we'll use a 10mm socket along these two bolts. Now let's make our way to the intake. We'll use an 8mm to loosen this clamp. We'll give that a little wiggle to break it free from the throttle body. Now that we have the hose off of there, continue on to the air filter box. We'll open up both these clamps. Now we can take this entire unit and shift it up just like this. We'll use a bungee cord of some sort to hold it up. We'll continue on to the serpentine belt tensioner with a 14mm. All you want to do is come right into the center here. Get your tool onto the center bolt and then turn it counterclockwise to release tension from the belt. Now we can fully remove our serpentine belt from the area. The next thing we're going to do is continue on with a 10mm ratchet wrench and a small prying device, such as a screwdriver or small pry bar. What we need to loosen is all 4 of these mounting nuts that hold the fan clutch to this pulley assembly. Now what we're going to do is use the screwdriver in between one of the nuts and the center of the shaft here. While we try to turn our nuts loose, we're going to use this to hold the pulley in place. Just get my wrench on there. Once you've gotten it to break free, it should want to come off nice and easy. When we're doing this, we want to make sure that we leave at least one of these mounting nuts on here. It's very important to make sure that this fan, when it comes loose, does not hit up against your radiator. Now at this point, you should be able to move that clutch around. We're going to leave it in this position and continue on to our fan shroud. We'll use an 8mm to remove both of these top bolts. Now that we can move the fan shroud around, let's continue on by carefully removing our last nut. Keep in mind, you do not want this fan to hit up against your radiator. It will damage it. Now we can take that fan shroud, push it towards the engine, being extremely careful not to crack it or break it. Grab that fan and clutch, break it free from its pulley, and then pull it up and through the area in between the radiator and the fan shroud. Now you want to bring it over to a bench. We're going to have to start disassembling the fan from the clutch itself. To do that, you're going to find 4 10mm headed bolts holding the fan to the clutch. Remove all 4, and then take the fan off of the clutch. Once you have all 4 of the mounting bolts out of there, we're going to go ahead and separate this. Typically, you're going to find that the fan is stuck to the clutch. If that's the case, just give it a loving bonk with a rubber mallet. There it is, friends. All right, we're at the point that we can start putting this together. Let's take the fan and we're going to line up the mounting bolt holes of the fan itself with the mounting bolt holes on the fan clutch. You want to make sure that you have clean threads on your mounting bolts. Once you have it on there, continue on by starting in all of your mounting bolts, snug them up, and then torque them to 84 inch-pounds. A quick note for installing your cooling fan onto the fan clutch. You want to make sure that you have the deep area of the fan facing towards the outer aspect of the clutch, so the shallow end would be facing towards the engine. All right, let's get our fan assembly back on the engine. Carefully slide it in between the fan shroud and the radiator without damaging the radiator. We'll swing it right down and put it onto the studs that are located on the pulley down there. Once you've got it on there, continue on with all 4 of your mounting nuts. Once you have them started on there, go ahead and snug them up. Now that I have all the mounting nuts started, we'll continue on with our fan shroud. Just go ahead and put it back in place and snug it up. Now that we have the fan shroud on there, we can continue tightening our mounting nuts. Now that I've got them all bottomed out, I'll continue on by holding the clutch still with my screwdriver across one of my mounting nuts and the shaft of the clutch. Let's start with one side of the serpentine belt, and we're gonna make our way all the way down over the AC compressor. That's on the driver's side, all the way on the bottom. Now, once you have it down and around that, we're gonna take the side of the belt that has the backing, and we're gonna put it directly up against the fan clutch pulley. We'll swing it right down and around. I'm gonna try to bring this down and around the crank on the other side. Now we'll just go ahead and make sure it slides up onto all those pulleys correctly. While we continue working on the side that has the AC compressor, you'll notice directly above it you have a ribbed idler pulley. Let's make sure that we put the serpentine belt over that pulley. Now we can continue on towards the passenger side. We'll make sure that we bring the belt directly underneath the crank. As we continue, you want to make sure that you make your way up and over the tensioner, and then continue bringing it down. We'll bring it down and around the alternator. After you've done that, you'll continue by giving it a little bit of tautness along where the power steering pump is. Now, before we continue by putting our tool on the tensioner, you want to just double check all of those pulleys. Make sure the belt's sitting in them properly. If it looks like it's off by even one tooth, it's going to damage the belt. Once you've got the tensioner pulled all the way counterclockwise, you can slide that belt over your power steering pulley. Once you've removed your serpentine belt tool, just quickly double check that belt. It can't be off by even one tooth. Let's take this air intake and we'll slide it into position on the throttle body. Once you have it on there, continue on by tightening your clamp. Now we can start resecuring our upper clamshell for our air filter box. You want to make sure you have it secured on the far side. And once you have it in there, continue on by locking it in with your two locking clamps. Now we can put on our upper engine cover. Let's have a look at the bottom. You're going to find that you have two little locating pieces that protrude downward. On the engine's intake, you're going to find some rubber grommets for them to line up with and slide into. Once I have them both in position, I'll press them in. Continue on with your two mounting bolts. Start them both in, and then snug them up. Okay friends, we've got the truck back together. At this point, you want to go ahead and start it up. Let it run for approximately 30 seconds and turn it right back off. Take another look at the belt. Ensure that it's sitting on all the pulleys properly. Once you've done that, go ahead and start it up, take it for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.